31 years later, I'm so glad of the road I took. There is life after what, at the time, seems like the end. Back when I was 36, married with a 3-year-old daughter, 16-year marriage, 21-year relationship, working my tail off in a business. Came home one Friday in a really great mood, excited to see my daughter and wife. As soon as I came in the door, my wife asked me to sit down. She had something to tell me. She proceeded to tell me she had been having an affair with one of her customers. She was a hairstylist. That they both agreed to divorce their spouses and get married. She went on to tell me I was a great guy, but made clear she felt this guy could provide her the lifestyle and material things she felt she deserved. That I did not understand how important material things are to her. Needless to say, I was completely caught off guard. I really struggled for a month or two. Even experienced what I felt were mini strokes when I'd lose my ability to speak. Then one day woke up and I felt better. I saw the bright side. I moved out over the same weekend with essentially my clothes, and a week later the guy she's been having this affair moved in with my wife and daughter. His wife of course tossed him out. They were married a month after the divorce was final. I was even a no-show at my own divorce. I was mailed a copy. I was in LA working at the time. I just started all over again. My 3-year-old daughter saved my life. I can't imagine making it through those first couple months without her. At 3 she seemed to know my pain, and it shocked me that a child barely 3 could have that level of empathy. I went on and became the best father ever. Spent years helping in the school. Was able to have a career that exploded and grew very rapidly. My income increased 4-fold in the next 1 to 2 years. The relationship I had with my daughter was so amazing then, and even today, my 34 years old with 2 of her own kids, is still amazing. I'm 67 now. Almost 68. Done more than my share of dating, have a thriving business, have traveled internationally for years. I own a business, a couple commercial buildings. I work full-time because I want to. I come and go as I please. I've dated far too much and have become quite content over the last few years. Really enjoying my work and the ability to be free and open. I have ample opportunities to have a casual night out. I can't imagine the life I would have had and what I would have missed out on had not had my wife left me when she did. I became a better father, more successful and more confident. I lost one thing and gained so much more. So as dark as it feels at first, the light does start coming in. You just have to look for it. My mom, 39F, lied to me, 17M, and my real dad, late 30s, M, just showed up for the first time. Sorry if this is incoherent, but my mind is racing right now. My dad died when I was 8 years old. Well, the man I thought was my dad did. My mom dated other men, but she's never remarried or had a serious live-in boyfriend since, so I've basically been without a dad since I was 8. But earlier today this man came into my work. I work at a movie theater in the concession stand BTW. So this man came in and kept letting people go ahead of him in line until I was done helping the customer I was with. I didn't think anything at first, but this guy was kinda nervous but trying to talk to me. He asked what I recommended to eat and asked what kind of movies I liked. He seemed friendly but shy, and I was just being polite and making conversation like we're supposed to do with customers. Anyway, he paid and left, and I didn't see him when his movie finished cause it was busy. Or maybe he didn't even watch a movie. Ike. Anyway, I got off work a little bit ago, and when I got home that same man was in my living room talking to my mom, and it kinda creeped me out, and my mom started panicking when I asked who he was. And she just kept saying he's no one, he's leaving. But the man said he wasn't leaving until we talked and said she needs to tell me the truth. Well, you can guess from the title, he said he's my dad. I just felt this twist in my stomach. My mom started rambling saying my dad that died was my real dad and how much he loved me and took care of me and that this doesn't change that. The thing is, something happened last year that made me question my mom about my dad and my medical history. She said she didn't know anything about it, but today I just yelled at her that she could have told me then and there that he wasn't my biological father, but she didn't. I asked if this man was telling the truth and she just started crying and nodding. I guess I didn't notice at the theater because it was never something I would even think of, but looking at him it's pretty clear we're related since he looks so much like me. Or I guess I look like him is more accurate. He tried to talk to me and swore he never knew I existed or he would have been in my life. My mom didn't deny any of this. I asked her if this man was dangerous or an abusive ex or something. He was offended and she assured me it wasn't that at all. She wanted to sit down and talk, but I just felt so nauseous and overwhelmed, so I just grabbed my keys and told my mom I was staying at my best friend Josh's house for the night. I came here and Josh was sympathetic and let me vent, but he fell asleep and now I'm just here awake and my brain won't shut off. I feel so betrayed by my mom. How could she not tell me the truth? When I was little I understand, but I'm old enough to know where I come from. It feels so unfair that she denied me a father for half my life. I loved my dad that died. And I still miss him, but I've wanted a father for so long. There's so much I've gone through where I feel like having a dad would have been so much better and easier. I love my mom and she's been incredible in raising me, but it's not the same as having a dad. Especially when this guy is my actual dad and it seems like he would have been there if he knew. I'd what to say to him. Or to my mom. I know I have to go home eventually, but I just don't know what I'm supposed to say or do. He probably hates me and thinks I'm a crybaby because I cried and stormed out. I feel lost. My ex cheated on me 5 different times and I thought it was my fault. The breakup happened in 2020 and I didn't know if I was ready to share this online. But sometimes I do feel bad about what I've done and I just needed to air it out. Me, 25F, and ex, 26M, we're just hitting our 6 years mark of RS. We met in school back when we were teens, 15 to 16 yos, and we had a thing back then but never got together. He was my senior, so eventually he graduated before me and we somehow just never spoke again. He had a GF during that time and I too, was seeing different people. Someday in 2014, we reconciled through a mutual friend and we started dating officially. The RS started really well and we were all over each other. He has an extremely high SX drive while I was just average. But back then, I was obviously the one who was more in love and I couldn't keep away from him. We stayed 10 minutes away from each other, so we were meeting up on daily basis. X didn't have much friends, but 2 friends from school, also my seniors, and they were all getting into university at this time, while I was still taking my diploma. X started spending less time with me because of school, but I completely understood and did not pester. He started making friends in school, well, a friend. And he didn't really tell me about it until I told him that I'm going to the same university as him. It was a girl, let's call her M. M was seemingly chill and told me how she's always only had guy friends and my ex, K, sort of clicks well with him. So they had instantly became friends in school. They hang out every day, have lunch together. I met her in person and I genuinely thought that she was cool and trusted her. But their friendship started to get really odd. Like she would call him to get her home whenever she's out drunk. She would go over to his house and just spend time with him in his room while I'm not around. I found out about this through X's sisters. We were really close, so even they felt that it was weird. X and her would start going on small road trips together without me. That was where it started to get uncomfortable for me, but whenever I tried to bring it up, X would just brush it off as if I was being crazy. One of my friends in the same university recognized my ex one day during break time. He called me immediately because he swore that he saw my ex at his hands on a girl's hip, walking down the canteen together. They were leaning their heads on each other and it does not look like they were just friends/brothers at all. I was shocked, but I tried to defend him by saying he must have made a mistake. Fast forward, one day I noticed a notification from his text messages, synced to his laptop, and it was from M. Sometimes I uses his laptop to watch Netflix when I'm over. The texts were pretty odd because it was sexual. So I immediately opened it. M was talking about her SX life with X and it was very awkward for me to read. At one point, X wrote to her, "Did he not ask you why you allowed me to go in our W and you wouldn't let him?" That was when everything came down for me. I was broken entirely and pretty much just frozen. I started to experience my first hyperventilation and anxiety attacks since. When I decided to confront him, he managed to make it my fault for checking his messages and said it was just a joke. He was ready to break up with me for checking his phone and being crazy. He told his friends he couldn't take it anymore because I was breathing down his neck for no reason, for something that's just a joke. M reached out to me later on and told me that she's sorry and that it was just a peck on her cheek during one of their drinking nights out TGTH many months ago. Little does she know, I didn't even know about this peck. I wasn't talking about it and neither did I think this had started way before I suspected anything. So now I have the text from him to her and a suspicious night that supposedly only ended with a peck on the cheek. I was devastated, young and stupid. So I did the unbelievable and apologized to him so I could stay. Very stupid. And my karma for that is really 6 years of anxiety, him cheating on me other 5 times and some serious self-esteem issues. If anything that's worth coming out of this toxic RS, it was me knowing that the balding curse on cheating men is real. He has a lovely family and I absolutely love them. They knew not much of what he did, but all of them were so quick to come to my defense. They knew for a fact, if someone's at fault in this breakup, it couldn't have been me. I'll forever be thankful. To his new GF, I am sure you're a nice and wonderful girl. Please don't ever let this man make you think you're otherwise. Don't let him use the F words or the B words on you, you're more than that. And I genuinely hope that he's changed, because no one deserves to go through what I did. Although it is not the worst case I've heard on Reddit, but this trauma has really changed me entirely. I'm working on myself now and still trying to recover my confidence till this day. All the best.